Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another 2024 election prediction. This day, I'm doing another video suggestion, subscriber suggestion, a viewer suggestion between Larry Hogan, governor of the state of Maryland, and John Bel Edwards, governor of the state of Louisiana. Larry Hogan, as we all know, a Republican governor in a very liberal state, and John Bel Edwards, a Democrat governor in a very conservative state of Louisiana. So it's going to be interesting to see how this dynamic plays out across the country. When you look in nationally or in their own parties, John Bel Edwards not very much of a prominent Democrat. He doesn't really have that much of an approval or disapproval simply because his party doesn't really know him that well. He is a slightly more moderate Democrat. Larry Hogan, definitely more liberal Republican and more well known inside of the Republican sphere. If he ran at a general election, I'm not sure he would get that Trump base that he would need to defeat a Democrat like John Bel Edwards. And Bel Edwards, I think, could get a significant amount of the Democrat Party on his side. He's not as well known. And if he continued that somewhat anonymity, I think he could get some progressives to vote for him, which is that base that really Biden has been playing to, and then Trump played to his populist base. Edwards could corral those other voters. Anyway, let's get into our safe Edwards races. These will include the safe 181 electoral votes that I tend to give to the Democrats. So he would be able to win Vermont and states like that by safe margins. Larry Hogan would not be able to win all of the Republican 125 states by safe margins. In my mind, he wouldn't get that turnout. I think he would not win Missouri and Indiana by safe margins or South Carolina. So that only brings him to 95 electoral votes. Much harder for him to win. He would do better in the Northeast, however. So a little bit of a contrast there. Bel Edwards would do a bit better in the South. Honestly, actually, I'll leave Louisiana out of the picture at the moment because Bel Edwards is from that state, just to be fair. And I'll leave Maryland out because Hogan's from that state, to be fair. However, just keep in mind that national elections have a very different dynamic than statewide elections. So likely Edwards, he would win Maryland by a likely margin. He'd also be able to win the state of New Mexico by a likely margin and Colorado by a likely margin. That brings him to 196 electoral votes. Hogan be able to win Louisiana by a likely margin, South Carolina, Missouri, Indiana, and Iowa by a likely margin, as well as Nebraska 2nd Congressional District by a likely margin, bringing him to 132 electoral votes. So you'd consider this a bit of a low-scoring game at the moment. Usually in the safe to likely margins, Democrats and Republicans, you had a Biden versus Trump prediction, they would be in the 200s by now. However, both of them still in the 100s. Anyway, lean Bel Edwards races. Bel Edwards would be able to win and lean Georgia in his favor. He'd also be able to win Nevada and Arizona. And actually, no, not Arizona, because I do think Hogan would be able to get a lot of that McCain support, because McCain really shifted Arizona after he died. Republicans have done significantly worse there. And Hogan may be able to get that because of that more moderate conservatism that they both share. Or, if you want to call it conservatism, many conservatives probably not think that Larry Hogan is a conservative. But that brings John Bel Edwards to 218, and I'll also give him the state of Minnesota, winning that by a lean margin. Lean Larry Hogan states. These will include the state of Ohio. This will include Maine's 2nd Congressional District, as well as Maine's at-large district, as well as the state of New Hampshire. And Larry Hogan would be able to win the states of Virginia in his favor, which is very interesting as well. He'd also be able to win the state of North Carolina in his favor, adding him up to 185 electoral votes. You don't really see people like Larry Hogan, Republicans in general, winning Virginia in a national election by lean margins at this point. However, another very different dynamic. And finally, I think he'd be able to win the state, actually two more states, the state of Arizona by a lean margin, and the state of Texas by a lean margin. In 2024, it would still narrow up, especially John Bel Edwards being from Louisiana. However, Hogan would still be able to win 2 to 4 points, probably 3.5 points in his favor in Texas. It wouldn't flip, even with John Bel Edwards on the ticket. That brings it 226 to 228 electoral votes. So here we go. Now we are heading into the final states. I think that John Bel Edwards would be able to tilt the state of Michigan in his favor. I think that Larry Hogan would be able to tilt Wisconsin in his favor, as well as the state of Pennsylvania in his favor. However, I think that John Bel Edwards would be able to win the state of Florida, continuing that spread in the South. Hogan would need that populist support, especially in a state like Florida that is heavily conservative, and I don't think he would get it. I think the Democrats would be able to win that state if Hogan managed to become the Republican nominee, and of course Bell Edwards managed to become the Democrat nominee. That means that John Bell Edwards, would go on to become the 47th president of the United States of America in one of the weirdest election matchups I think we've ever had in our history. 273, 265, another very close election, mirrors the polarization of the country. Anyway, with that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not already. And let me know what you think of my prediction in the comments below. Once more, have a great day.